Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to show you how to determine the term number of a geometric sequence when you're given the value of a later term in the sequence. Now, spoiler alert, you can actually solve this directly if you have a tool called logarithms. So if you know logs, then don't watch this video. This is not the way to do it. I'm just going to show you the guess and check method, which is your only way really of solving this if you don't know logarithms yet. Logarithms essentially let you take variables out of your exponents, is kind of why we would want to use them as a tool. So once you learn logarithms, you can take variables out of exponents, which you'll see in this question would be useful. But assuming you don't know logs, how do you solve this problem? So we've got our initial term is negative a quarter, it goes to a half, then negative 1, and then so on, and apparently it gets up to negative 65,536, which seems like a big number, but I don't know, let's take a look. So I guess the first thing we needed to notice is what we're multiplying by. So our ratio is going to be negative, because it goes from negative to positive. You always want to notice that like completely separately from everything else. It's really easy to forget negative signs. And going from a quarter to a half and then a half to 1 is doubling. So that's multiplying by 2. So our ratio is negative 2. And our initial term is negative a quarter. And so then our general term, Tn, is our initial value, negative a quarter, times our ratio, negative 2, to the n, minus 1. So essentially we just need to basically guess the power. So I've got my handy dandy calculator here. Let's plug this in. So my base is negative 1, divided by 4, close bracket, raised, or not raised to, times, bracket, my ratio, raised to some sort of number minus 1. I don't know, let's try 10 minus 1. Okay, 120, that's way too low. So just so you know, if you've got one of these fancy dancy calculators, you can just do second entry, which brings you back to your last step. So you can easily raise that. Let's try 20 maybe. Oh, okay, that's too big. It's just a little bit too big, right? We want, oh no, it's too small. We want 60, no, that's too big, 131,000. We want actually just slightly smaller. So let's try, actually this is quite lucky. I think we might just be one off. I think this looks like it's exactly double what we want. And sure enough, there it is. So there you have it. It is the 19th term by guess and check. Now, if you've got one of these calculators, there's actually like an even cooler way you could do this, which I'm going to show you because why not? If you go into the y equals screen, oh, I've got stuff in here already from last time, never mind that. If you go into the y equals screen, then you can actually set up your equation, here, your Tn equation. So I'm going to do that, negative 1 divided by 4 times negative 2, close bracket, raised to the, now this is where it's a little bit different. Instead of n, you're going to put this button here, this variable button is your x, minus 1. And then what I can do is do second function table of values. And, oh, we're getting decimal values. Okay, I'm going to go into table set and change it so that my start value is, let's start at term 0, which is actually before we start. And my change value in my table is 1. Go back to my table of values. And there we go. Okay, so cool. So an eighth, negative a quarter, a half, negative 1. And you can actually just scroll down and see the value at every single step of the way. It makes a table of values for you, which is a really cool trick, or a tool, I guess. And there you have it. The 19th term is negative 65,536.